Good morning, everybody, and thank you, Dr. Saigal, for the introduction. So, as he said briefly, I am a Director Patents with Roche, and right now I'm going to talk only about a very limited construction of Section 3D, because what we feel is that, or what we find is that Section 3D has been there for some time, but the manner in which it has been applied is maybe not right, and we need to look at Section 3D from a technical viewpoint to understand whether Section 3D actually applies in all cases, or whether the Indian Patent Office as well as the IPAB or the courts are really trying to broaden the scope of Section 3D beyond what it actually was. In fact, at the end of the presentation, we might come to some conclusions wherein it has been mentioned by some other speaker that Section 3D is probably an extension of obviousness. But maybe after some time we might have to rethink whether Section 3D is actually an extension of obviousness or an extension of anticipation. So with this, let me start my presentation. Okay. So I would just talk about Section 3D, some objections from the Patent Office, some case law I try to generally discuss but not on the slides, and then I would also want to touch upon one very sensitive issue about comparisons for efficacy. So I wouldn't want to say what is efficacy because it has been debated. I don't want to get into a debate once again, but we also need to understand when we look at efficacy, what exactly are we going to compare? So with that, let me start my presentation, and here I am going to restrict to the very word new form of a known substance. So I won't list down what is Section 3D, but when we say Section 3D, we talk about the mere discovery of a new form of a known substance. And there is an explanation wherein polymorphs, salts, esters and all those and other derivatives are supposed to be within the scope of Section 3D. So let us look at what is a new form. Because when we say a new form of known substance, and when we talk about salt, the example I have given is A hydrochloride, whereas A is the active moiety and the hydrochloride is the salt. Similarly, the acid, A acid, and which converts to the ester, or an alcohol to an ether, and a pure form, and other derivatives. So when you look at this, we will understand that A remains constant. A does not change. Whatever is added, it's basically an addition. It's an extension of A. So, for any reason, if A is changed to B or to anything else, whatever hydrochloride or ester or ether is formed cannot be a new form of A. And that's what Section 3D tells us. If anything has to be within the scope of Section 3D, it has to be a new form of a known substance. Here we see A is a known substance, and anything which is added to it becomes a new form of a known substance. And why do we say that? Because probably what would happen is that the intention behind Section 3D seems to be that this new form, when it enters the body, gets converted into the existing substance. And that is why this should not be given a patent according to the Indian system. So if A is changed, then Section 3D cannot apply. Because then in this case, what it means is that any hydrochloride or an ester or any prodrug would be something which would get converted into the original substance after it enters the body. But, so with that, we'll also go to the next part of Section 3D, because the words in the section itself tell us that Section 3D was not supposed to be so broad. It mentions the mere discovery of a new form of a known substance. When you say discovery, it means that there is something existing. You are not creating anything new. The reason I'm talking about is that when we talk about a new chemical entity, it is a new chemical entity, something new which is not discovered, whereas Section 3D applies specifically to what is existing. And that comes from the words of section 3D itself. Now, we have seen this example of imatinib mesylate, which was also decided by the Supreme Court. But then just to give an example, if we look at this, for section 3D to apply, I'm not saying whether section 3D is right or wrong, I'm just saying whether if it has to apply, the substance has to be known. So in this case, imatinib was known. And only because it was known, section 3D could be applied. So, as we see in this structure, there's imatinib and then there is a methane sulfonic acid. So, that's okay to apply, but is this what is also followed by the Indian Patent Office or also by most of the challengers to the innovation when these matters are being argued in courts or at the IPAB. So what we have to understand is that the standards which are applicable for anticipation is it has to be a known substance. For obviousness, it could be a structurally similar substance, similar in structure. But for section 3D, the standards are not known. So every examiner or every party would devise their own standards and apply it for section 3D. For example, we had a few cases at the Indian Patent Office, and in September 2015, which is not far away from this time, there was a decision wherein the controller said it should be borne in mind that substances, in spite of being novel and inventive, may still fall under the ambit of section 3D as far as there is a close structural similarity exists in the claimed compounds with that disclosed in prior art. So, the examiner thinks if there is a close structural similarity, then section 3D should apply. That's the position of at least of the Kolkata Patent Office. Let's see some other examples. Wherein this is also from Calcutta, and it was decided in August 2015. So I won't go to the entire case, but in the examination report, it was mentioned that documents D1 and D2 can be taken as the closest prior art because guanidine is directly attached to the naphthalene moiety. Now, the compounds of the invention were similar, but not the same. And then, interestingly, when we look at the controller's decision, it mentions, therefore, invention cannot be considered inventive under section 21J. And for section 3D, the controller also mentioned the same thing. Claims fall within the scope of section 3D of the Act because of the reasons mentioned above, which means the reasons which have been given for section 3D to apply have been the same reasons for obviousness to apply. So there is a close chemical structure which is to the compound of the invention, and based on that obviousness was applied, and based on the same section 3D was applied, and the controller said for the same reasons section 3D has been applicable and patent not granted. But can this be done? Because when we look at a new form of a known substance, for example, if we have A as the claimed compound of the invention, and if we have B, which is the closest prior art, so A and B are not the same. They may be similar, but they are not the same. So should section 3D apply is the question. Because if you look at a simple example of toluene and aniline, they are similar with the change in CH3 and NH2 over there. Can these be considered as structurally close? Yes. But are these known substances? The same substance? Definitely not. It cannot be at all. So if you have to have a new form of same substance, it has to be aniline hydrochloride. It cannot be that you add something to toluene and then you say that, okay, because aniline was known, this becomes a new form of a known substance. But this standard is seen to be applied by the Patent Office in many cases. And that's why the scope of section 3D, which was originally not so broad, has been broadened by the Patent Office, and that has been consistently followed at the IPAB and in the courts. So maybe just to maybe this has not been restricted because we probably talk about other derivatives in section 3D. So maybe if you look at other derivatives, then if there's a change in the structure, it might apply. So let's try to understand what is other derivatives under section 3D. So if you look at the dictionary meaning, a derivative would be originating from something else. So it is something which is based on something else, which would be what else is also mentioned in section 3D. But when you look at substitution, it means that this is a replacement. One is replaced with the other, and that is why it is substituted. And when we look at some of the decision of the Patent Office, this was a decision in 2014, and it was mentioned the exemption report had an objection of section 3D, and applicant has submitted that the compounds of the invention, they differ from the prior art in at least 3 structural differences, because that is usually what is given to show that it is not obvious. So it was mentioned